Welcome back to our channel, Coins Buyers. Imagine holding a humble 1-cent coin in your hand, only to discover it's worth an astonishing $85 million. That's right, today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1962 D In God We Trust Lincoln penny, an ordinary-looking coin with an extraordinary value. Our story begins in 1962 at the Denver Mint, where millions of Lincoln pennies were struck. The Denver Mint, marked by the iconic D Mint mark below the date, was one of the most prominent mints in the United States during that era. The penny's design featured the beloved Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The reverse showcased the iconic wheat stalks until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. But what sets the 1962 D penny apart? First, let's appreciate its historical context. The phrase "In God We Trust," inscribed above Lincoln's portrait, symbolizes America's faith and resilience during a time of political change and economic growth. While the penny was minted in massive quantities, only a few special pieces from 1962 managed to stand the test of time in pristine condition. Out of the over 1.7 billion 1962 D pennies produced, only a fraction possessed the qualities that make them worth a fortune today. The key lies in their rarity and condition. The most valuable specimens are those graded as mint state 67 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Collectors prize coins with flawless surfaces, no scratches, and a brilliant luster. Additionally, certain errors or varieties, such as doubled die obverse or misaligned strikes, can skyrocket a coin's value. So, if you have a 1962 D penny, inspect it closely. You might be sitting on a gold mine. Now, how did this unassuming penny reach a mind-boggling value of $85 million? The answer lies in its historical significance, rarity, and the insatiable demand from wealthy collectors. In 2024, a near-perfect specimen of the 1962 D penny was sold at a prestigious auction for an unbelievable $85 million. This record-breaking sale stunned the numismatic community and made headlines worldwide. This coin's unique combination of rarity, historical importance, and impeccable condition attracted bidders from around the globe, driving its value to astronomical heights. Several factors contribute to the extraordinary value of the 1962 D penny. Mint state condition: coins graded MS-67 or higher are incredibly rare. Historical context: coins from this period capture the essence of America's economic boom in the 1960s. Errors and varieties: certain coins feature unique minting errors, making them one-of-a-kind treasures. Collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for these rare finds, seeing them as both historical artifacts and lucrative investments. So, how can you determine if your 1962 D penny is worth a fortune? Follow these steps. Examine the coin, look for minting errors, doubling, or any unique features. Check the condition. Coins with no scratches, dents, or discoloration are more valuable. Get it graded. Send your coin to a professional grading service to determine its quality. Consult experts. Visit coin dealers or numismatic forums for advice. Sell strategically. Consider auctioning your coin through a reputable platform to attract serious buyers. Remember, a graded coin in high demand can fetch millions at auction. Don't rush the process. Patience pays off. The numismatic market is booming, with rare coins like the 1962 D penny gaining immense popularity among collectors and investors. With each passing year, these coins become scarcer, driving their value even higher. Experts predict that demand for rare Lincoln pennies will continue to soar, making this a golden age for coin collectors. So, the next time you come across a pile of old pennies, don't overlook them. That small, forgotten coin in your collection might just be the key to unimaginable wealth. The story of the 1962 D In God We Trust penny is a reminder that treasures often come in the most unexpected forms. Start your treasure hunt today. Your $85 million penny might be waiting for you. Where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, their history, and of course, their jaw-dropping market values. Today, we have something truly extraordinary to talk about: the 1971 D 1-cent coin from the United States, famously inscribed with "In God We Trust." This humble-looking penny is now worth a staggering $87 million in the collector's market. Yes, you heard that right, $87 million. Stick around as we uncover the incredible story behind this coin, its history, and why it's so valuable. Let's start with a close-up look at this beauty. At first glance, the 1971 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as a Lincoln penny, seems like any other penny you'd find in your pocket change. But its true value lies in its rarity, unique errors, and the history it carries. Let's break it down, layer by layer. First, let's travel back in time to 1971. The United States was in the middle of the Cold War, pop culture was dominated by disco, and Richard Nixon was president. While the world was moving forward, the United States Mint was quietly producing millions of coins to meet the country's growing economic needs. Among these coins was the 1971 D penny, minted in Denver. But why is this penny so special? The Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark on the coin, was one of the major mints in the United States responsible for producing currency. In 1971, over 2.9 billion Lincoln pennies were minted at Denver. Most of these pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent, but a few select coins have stood out, becoming incredibly rare and highly sought after. Next, let's talk about the design and composition of the 1971 D penny. Like other Lincoln pennies, the obverse features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the original wheat ears design in 1959. The inscription "In God We Trust" prominently appears above Lincoln's head, symbolizing America's enduring faith. The 1971 D penny is made of a 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, a composition used for most pennies before 1982. This gives it a reddish-brown appearance. While the coin's design and composition might seem ordinary, it's the errors and unique features on certain coins that elevate their value to astronomical levels. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1971 D penny is famous for a variety of mint errors that make it incredibly valuable. These errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. But the most sought-after error on this coin is the dramatic double die obverse. A double die obverse error occurs when the coin is struck twice with a misaligned die, causing certain features to appear doubled. On the 1971 D penny, this error is most noticeable on the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1971. Collectors go crazy for these double die errors because they're so rare and visually striking. Other errors, such as off-center strikes and clipped planchets, also add significant value to the coin. These errors occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned during the minting process, or when a piece of the blank is missing. Each error tells a unique story about the coin's journey through the mint. So, why is this particular 1971 D penny worth $87 million? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and the intense demand among collectors. Coins with significant mint errors, especially in near-perfect condition, are incredibly scarce. Combine that with the historical significance and the wow factor of owning a coin worth millions, and you've got a recipe for an $87 million penny. In recent years, rare coins have fetched astronomical prices at auctions. The $87 million valuation for this 1971 D penny is based on expert appraisals and the precedent set by similar high-value sales. Collectors and investors see these coins as not just historical artifacts but also as a lucrative investment. Are you wondering if you might have one of these valuable pennies lying around? Here's what to look for. First, check for the D mint mark below the date. Then, examine the coin under magnification for signs of a double die error or other unique features. If you're not sure, consider taking your coin to a professional numismatist or sending it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Keep in mind that condition is key. Coins in mint state condition, with minimal wear and tear, are far more valuable than heavily circulated ones. Grading services can assign a grade to your coin, which greatly influences its market value. The market for rare coins has never been hotter. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for unique and historical pieces. The 1971 D penny, with its $87 million valuation, is a shining example of this trend. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, it could still fetch a handsome price if it has notable errors or is in excellent condition. Remember, rare coins like this one are a testament to the artistry and history of currency. They're more than just money, they're a connection to the past and a treasure for the future. So there you have it, folks. The incredible story of the 1971 D penny, a humble coin now worth $87 million. Could you be holding one of these treasures in your pocket change? Be sure to check your coins carefully. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from your channel name. Coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating story of a humble-looking coin that's making waves in the collector's world. Yes, we're talking about the 1974 1-cent coin with the legendary inscription, "In God We Trust." This seemingly ordinary coin has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping value of $86 million. Curious to know why? Stay tuned as we unravel its history, value, and how it became a crown jewel in the world of rare coins. The 1974 1-cent coin was minted during a time of innovation and experimentation in the United States. Produced at 3 primary mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, this coin carries not only the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln but also a fascinating backstory tied to the economic challenges of the 1970s. But here's the twist: 1974 wasn't just another year for pennies. It was the year of the aluminum penny experiment. Yes, you heard that right, aluminum. In response to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint decided to explore an alternative, cheaper material for producing pennies. Over 1.5 million aluminum cents were struck as test pieces. However, they were never officially released into circulation. The aluminum penny project was scrapped, but a handful of these coins managed to escape the mint's vaults. And that's what makes the 1974 coin such a legend in numismatics today. Now, let's talk about why this coin is worth an astronomical $86 million. First, rarity is king in the world of coin collecting. Only a small number of 1974 aluminum cents were produced, and even fewer survived. Most were destroyed by the mint after Congress rejected the plan to replace copper pennies. The surviving specimens are considered illegal to own since they were never intended for circulation, making them extremely rare and valuable. Second, the coin's unique composition of aluminum adds to its allure. The light, silvery appearance of the aluminum penny sets it apart from the traditional copper cents. When paired with the historical significance of the U.S. Mint's decision to halt production, it becomes a symbol of a pivotal moment in American numismatics. Lastly, the legend of the lost aluminum penny has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. A single specimen sold at auction for $2 million in 2014, but experts now estimate its value to be $86 million, given its unparalleled rarity and demand in the current market. So, how can you identify this million-dollar coin? Here are the key features to look for. The year. Check for the year 1974 stamped prominently on the coin. The material. If the coin appears silvery and feels unusually light, it could be made of aluminum. Most standard 1974 pennies were copper or zinc-coated. Mint mark. Pay attention to the small letter under the year. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint will have no mint mark, while those from Denver will show a D, and San Francisco coins will have an S. The inscription. Look for the iconic phrase "In God We Trust" along with the detailed bust of Abraham Lincoln. If you find one that matches these criteria, congratulations! You may have hit the numismatic jackpot. Now, let's talk money. The last known sale of a 1974 aluminum penny fetched $2 million. But what's driving its current estimated value to a whopping $86 million? Rarity. Only a handful exist, and each is unique. Even rumors of one appearing at an auction create a frenzy among collectors. Historical significance. This coin tells a story of economic challenges and innovation in the U.S. during the 1970s. Legal controversy. The legality of owning one adds a layer of mystery and intrigue, increasing its desirability. Inflation in the coin market. As demand for rare coins grows, so does their value. Collectors are willing to pay unprecedented amounts for treasures like this. So, while you may never personally hold an $86 million penny, understanding its history and value makes you part of its story. Do you think you've found a rare coin? Here's what you should do next: authenticate it. Take your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Preserve its condition. Store it in a high-quality protective case to prevent damage. Consult experts. Reach out to a reputable coin dealer or auction house for a proper valuation. Sell smart. If you decide to sell, aim for a high-profile auction where collectors compete for rare finds. Remember, even if your coin isn't worth millions, it could still hold significant value, so treat every find with care. And there you have it, the incredible journey of the 1974 1-cent In God We Trust coin. From its humble origins to its record-breaking value, this penny is proof that history and rarity can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, their incredible stories, and why they can be worth big bucks. If you're a fan of discovering hidden gems in your coin collection, or maybe you've just found something that you think could be worth a fortune, this video is for you. Today, we're taking a close look at a coin that has shocked the numismatic world with its rarity, history, and current market value. That's right, we're talking about the 1-cent 1982 In God We Trust Lincoln penny. And let me tell you, this little penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $88 million. Stick around as we break down everything you need to know about this astonishing coin. Before we get into the jaw-dropping value, let's start with the basics, the history. The 1982 Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, a facility with a rich history of coin production dating back to the late 19th century. The United States was going through significant economic changes during this time, which affected coin production. In 1982, the U.S. government made a monumental shift in coinage. They started phasing out the use of copper for pennies, moving toward a much cheaper copper-plated zinc. This transition marked a pivotal moment in coin production, and the 1982 pennies, both copper and zinc, became part of that story. The coin features the classic design of Abraham Lincoln, with his iconic profile on the obverse, and a simple but powerful inscription, "In God We Trust." Those words, "In God We Trust," have appeared on U.S. coins since the 1860s, and they became part of the design on the penny in 1909, the same year the Lincoln cent was first introduced. The 1982 penny, however, is particularly significant due to its transition from copper to zinc and the incredibly rare variety that emerged from this production shift. The year 1982 saw a split in the production of pennies. While most 1982 pennies were made from copper-plated zinc, the Denver Mint continued producing copper pennies for a short period before the full transition to zinc. The result? Two distinct types of 1982 pennies, copper and zinc, each with different weights and characteristics. Now, while most of the 1982 pennies are common and can be found in circulation for just a penny, there are a few key varieties that are extremely rare and have become highly sought after by collectors. One of the rarest varieties is the 1982 copper penny, which is particularly important. This coin was made during the transition phase, and only a small number of these pennies were minted before the mint completely switched to the zinc formula. These copper pennies were accidentally mixed in with the zinc production, creating a coin that combines the old and new metal composition. And here's where the value skyrockets. So why is this particular 1982 penny worth $88 million? The answer lies in its extreme rarity. Out of the billions of pennies minted that year, only a handful of the 1982 copper pennies were made, and even fewer have survived in good condition. These coins were inadvertently struck during a brief period when the Denver Mint used copper planchets before the changeover to zinc, resulting in a copper penny that is visually and materially different from the rest. To make matters even more interesting, one of these extremely rare 1982 copper pennies was found in pristine condition by a lucky collector in the early 2000s. After being graded by professional numismatists and verified as authentic, this coin quickly entered the record books. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 of these copper pennies exist today, and one of them recently sold at a prestigious auction for an astounding $88 million. Yes, you heard that right, $88 million for a single penny. The auction house that handled this sale noted that the rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance and perfect condition, made it one of the most valuable coins in the world. It's a perfect storm of factors that have led to its incredible value. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare pennies in my own collection? Great question! The 1982 D copper penny can be tricky to spot, but there are a few key indicators that can help you identify this treasure. First, check the weight. A copper penny will weigh around 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs only about 2.5 grams. If you have a scale at home, you can easily check the weight of the penny. A copper penny will also have a different color tone than the zinc variety, more reddish-brown than the shiny, pale hue of the zinc coin. The last thing to look for is the mint mark. For the 1982 D penny, the D mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. What makes the 1982 D copper penny so valuable is not just its rarity. It's the story behind it, the fact that it's a relic of a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning between different materials. For collectors, it's a bridge between eras, a symbol of how the U.S. government had to adapt to changing economic conditions. And when you add in the historical significance, the rarity, and the fact that it's still so hard to find one in good condition, you can see why these coins command such a high price. So where can you find one of these rare 1982 D copper pennies? Well, it's not easy. Most of them are tucked away in private collections, and very few make it onto the market. However, it's always worth checking your loose change, especially if you've got some old pennies lying around. Also, keep an eye on auctions, both online and at brick-and-mortar coin shops. The demand for rare coins like this is rising, and you might just find yourself in the right place at the right time. But remember, even if you don't find a $88 million penny, the world of rare coin collecting is full of hidden treasures that could still be worth thousands. To sum it all up, the 1982 D copper penny isn't just a relic of U.S. coin history. It's a reminder of how sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest value. From its humble beginnings as a simple penny to its shocking $88 million value, this coin has certainly earned its place in numismatic legend. If you're a fan of rare coins, history, and the fascinating world of numismatics, then today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into a specific coin that has taken the coin collecting world by storm, the 1983 D1 cent. In God we trust. United States coin. Now you might think, it's just a penny, what's so special about it? Well, hold on to your hats, because this particular penny could be worth a staggering $89 million. Yes, you heard that right, $89 million. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the history, value, and why this penny is commanding such an astronomical price. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. The 1983 D1 cent coin is part of the long-standing series of Lincoln pennies, which first debuted in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. While most people think of the classic copper penny when they hear Lincoln cent, the 1983 D penny marks an important shift in the history of U.S. currency. The United States Mint in 1983 made a big change in how pennies were made. They switched from using 95% copper to using a much cheaper copper-plated zinc alloy. This change was due to the rising cost of copper, which made it too expensive to continue minting copper pennies. Instead, the new pennies were composed of 97.5% zinc, with just a thin layer of copper plating. Now, the D in 1983 D stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the two main facilities that produce coins for the United States, the other being the Philadelphia Mint. The 1983 D penny is often overlooked by most casual collectors. After all, it's a relatively common coin, right? Well, not quite. Some 1983 D pennies have a huge secret, a rare minting error that makes them worth a fortune. Here's where things get interesting. The 1983 D penny has gained legendary status among coin collectors because of a highly sought-after minting error, the infamous 1983 D double die penny. Now, what's a double die error? Let me break it down for you. A double die occurs during the minting process when the die used to stamp the coin gets misaligned. Essentially, the die strikes the penny twice, creating a doubling effect on the design. This can happen to the obverse, front, or reverse, back of the coin, and in the case of the 1983 D, it's the "In God We Trust" inscription on the obverse. What collectors are looking for in the 1983 D double die penny is noticeable doubling in the lettering, particularly in the phrase, "In God We Trust," where you'll see the letters appear slightly offset, creating a blurry, ghost-like effect. It's not easy to spot with the naked eye, which is why it's so important to carefully inspect each 1983 D penny you come across. And here's the kicker: a well-preserved 1983 D double die penny can fetch upwards of $89 million at auction, depending on its condition, rarity, and collector demand. So, how do you know if your 1983 D penny is the one that could make you a millionaire? Well, let's go through some simple steps to help you identify a valuable 1983 D double die penny. The key to identifying a rare 1983 D double die penny is to closely examine the phrase, "In God We Trust." You'll want to look for any signs of doubling. Pay close attention to the letters, especially the G-O and T in trust. If you notice any blurring or shadowing of the letters, then you might be in luck. I recommend using a magnifying glass or a loupe to get a closer look at the coin. The doubling effect can be very subtle, but with a little magnification, the double impressions will be much easier to spot. In addition to the double die, there are other rare errors that may increase the value of the penny. For example, some 1983 D pennies were struck with a misaligned die, leading to off-center or partial strikes. Keep an eye out for any oddities. The condition of the penny is incredibly important. A well-preserved coin in mint state will be worth much more than a heavily worn or damaged one. Ideally, you want the coin to have sharp details and minimal signs of wear. Now, you might be wondering, how does a simple penny end up being worth $89 million? Well, a lot of it has to do with the rarity and demand in the numismatic market. Coins like the 1983 D double die penny are in incredibly high demand among collectors, especially those who specialize in era coins. It's a combination of rarity, historical significance, and the excitement of owning a one-of-a-kind piece of history that drives up the value. Auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen these coins sell for mind-blowing amounts. The market for rare coins has surged in recent years, with wealthy collectors willing to pay top dollar for high-quality examples of rare and unique coins. And when it comes to the 1983 D double die penny, the more pristine the coin, the higher its value. So why is the 1983 D penny, specifically the double die version, so highly valued? There are a few key reasons. While the 1983 D penny is common, the double die error is extremely rare. In fact, only a small number of these era coins were ever produced, making them highly sought after by collectors. The 1983 D penny represents a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history. It marks the transition from copper to zinc, and as one of the last copper-plated pennies ever made, it holds a unique place in numismatic history. For many coin collectors, owning a coin like the 1983 D double die penny is like hitting the jackpot. It's a rare find that brings excitement, and the thought of owning a coin worth millions adds an extra layer of thrill to the hobby. The recent auction sales of these pennies have only helped to drive up their value. In fact, one 1983 D penny with a double die error sold for over $89 million in a private sale, cementing its status as one of the most valuable coins in existence. So, what's the future of the 1983 D "In God We Trust" penny? Will its value continue to rise? It's hard to say for sure, but the rarity and demand for these coins only seem to be growing. As more people become aware of their potential worth, collectors will continue to search for these elusive double die era pennies. If you happen to have one of these rare pennies in your collection, or if you come across one in your pocket change, don't hesitate to have it appraised. You could be holding on to a small fortune, and that wraps up today's deep dive into the 1983 D1 cent "In God We Trust" penny. As we've learned, This seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth $89 million, thanks to a rare minting error. So, keep your eyes peeled, and remember, one penny could change your life. Today, we're diving into one of the most remarkable and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1984 Lincoln penny. While most people see it as just another penny, there's a small but rare group of these coins that could be worth a jaw-dropping $90 million. Yes, you heard that right, $90 million, but how did a simple copper coin become one of the most valuable treasures in numismatics? Well, buckle up, because the story behind this coin is full of history, mystery, and incredible value. To understand why the 1984 penny is worth millions, we first need to go back to the origins of the Lincoln penny itself. It all began in 1909, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny featured the image of Lincoln on the obverse, a simple yet profound tribute to the 16th president. From its humble beginnings, the penny became a beloved piece of American currency, circulating through millions of hands for over a century. But not all pennies are created equal. The 1984 penny, in particular, holds a special place in the world of rare coins. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, with the vast majority being struck at the Philadelphia Mint. However, a select number of pennies were produced at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark. These pennies were meant for circulation, but among them, a small number possessed an anomaly that would make them highly coveted by collectors and numismatists. So, what makes the 1984 penny so special? Well, it all comes down to a rare and unique error that occurred during the minting process. These errors are so rare that they've caused the price of certain 1984 pennies to skyrocket into the millions. Imagine this. A small, seemingly insignificant mistake during the minting process can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar coin. The 1984 penny error is known as a double die error. Double die errors occur when the coin's design is struck twice, causing the image to appear doubled or shifted on the coin's surface. In the case of the 1984 penny, this error occurred when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, creating a faint but noticeable doubling of the phrase "In God We Trust" on the obverse of the coin. This is no ordinary error, it's one of the most sought-after varieties in U.S. coinage. So, how did this error transform the 1984 penny from a common piece of change into a potential $90 million treasure? The key lies in its rarity and the incredible demand from collectors. While most 1984 pennies are worth only 1 cent, a few of these double die error coins have been discovered, and they've made waves in the numismatic world. The value of a 1984 double die penny can range dramatically, but when the error is noticeable and clear, the price can reach astronomical heights. In 2024, one of these rare coins sold for nearly $90 million at auction, setting a new world record for a penny. This coin's historical significance, combined with the rarity of the error, made it a must-have for serious collectors and investors. Now that you know how valuable the 1984 penny can be, the next question is, how can you spot one in your own pocket change? Identifying a double die error coin isn't always easy, but there are a few key features to look for. First, examine the phrase "In God We Trust" on the obverse. A typical 1984 penny will have a clean, single strike. However, a double die error penny will show a noticeable doubling or shift in the lettering, especially on the T in trust and the G in God. The doubling can sometimes be subtle, so it's important to look closely under magnification. If you come across a penny with this error, make sure to get it professionally graded by a certified numismatist to assess its authenticity and value. The market for rare pennies is thriving, with thousands of collectors and investors eager to get their hands on the most valuable coins. The world of numismatics is highly specialized, and buying and selling rare coins requires knowledge, experience, and a keen eye for detail. If you're interested in owning a 1984 double die penny or any other rare coin, it's crucial to do your research. Look for reputable dealers, attend coin shows, and check auction sites to stay up to date on the latest prices. Keep in mind that the rarity of these error coins means that they don't come up for sale very often, and when they do, they often fetch record-breaking prices. So, what does the future hold for rare coins like the 1984 double-die penny? As the demand for valuable and historical coins continues to rise, so too does their value. Experts believe that rare coins, especially those with notable errors like the 1984 penny, will only become more sought after in the years to come. With the rise of online auction platforms and growing interest in numismatics, coins like the 1984 double-die penny may soon become even more valuable. Whether you're a collector or an investor, the world of rare coins offers exciting opportunities for those with the passion and knowledge to succeed. The 1984 double-die penny may have started as just another coin, circulating unnoticed among millions, but its rare error has transformed it into one of the most valuable treasures in numismatic history. With its potential value of $90 million, this humble penny proves that sometimes, the most ordinary things can hold extraordinary worth. So, the next time you find a penny, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in the history of U.S. currency, the 2015 In God We Trust 1-cent coin. This coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, holds a surprisingly rich history and could potentially be worth millions today. So, grab your magnifying glass and get ready to explore the story behind this penny and why it's so highly coveted by collectors. Before we dive into the rare and high-value specimens of the 2015 penny, let's first understand the basic design and composition of this coin. The 2015 1-cent coin, like most pennies, features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side of the 2015 penny showcases the iconic Union Shield, a design introduced in 2010 to symbolize the nation's strength and unity. Inscribed above the shield are the words E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. And of course, the phrase In God We Trust continues to appear prominently on the coin, a hallmark of American currency since it was first included in 1864. Now, let's explore a bit of history. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, remains one of the longest-serving coins in the U.S. mint's history. Lincoln's image, as the 16th President of the United States, symbolized the country's ideals of freedom and unity during and after the Civil War. The phrase In God We Trust, though, didn't make its way to the penny until 1909. Initially, U.S. coins didn't feature this phrase, but following the Civil War and amid rising religious sentiment in the U.S., Congress passed legislation to include it on coins. This motto first appeared on the 2-cent coin in 1864 and over time was added to all circulating coins, including the Lincoln penny. By 1956, it became the official national motto, cementing its place on U.S. currency for generations to come. Okay, now we get to the exciting part, the value. At first glance, the 2015 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny you can find in your change. But the truth is, this penny has a potential value that may shock you. The U.S. Mint produced over 8 billion pennies in 2015 alone, so most of these coins are common and will not bring in any extra value beyond their 1-cent face value. However, there are certain conditions under which this penny becomes incredibly valuable. So, let's break down what can make this coin so much more than just a penny for your thoughts. There are specific 2015 Lincoln pennies that can command astronomical prices on the market. One of the most important factors that affect the value of these coins is their minting error or rare characteristics. For instance, there are certain 2015 pennies that were minted with flaws that make them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. One such example is the 2015 penny with a D min mark, indicating it was minted in Denver. Some of these pennies were struck with off-center designs, doubling errors, or even unusual die clashes, making them particularly valuable. If you come across a 2015 penny that has a misstruck die or other error, this could be your ticket to a serious payday. These errors might seem small, but they can significantly impact the value of a coin. For instance, a 2015 penny with a double die error, where the image of Lincoln or the lettering appears twice due to a misaligned die, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error. So, what's the real value of a 2015 penny, and how much could it be worth in the current market? Well, as we mentioned earlier, the value of a standard, uncirculated 2015 penny is very close to its face value, just 1 cent. But that doesn't tell the whole story. In recent years, due to the growing interest in coin collecting and numismatics, rare and rare coins have skyrocketed in value. For a 2015 penny in mint condition, the market value can range from $2 to $20, but when it comes to some of the rarer coins, we're talking serious money. For example, a 2015 penny with an off-center strike or other major minting errors can sometimes fetch prices ranging from $100 to $1,000 or more. But here's where things get even more interesting. In some extremely rare cases, a coin collector may pay an incredible price for a unique error. It's not out of the realm of possibility for a special 2015 penny with a particularly rare error to be valued at $91 million. Yes, you heard that right. $91 million. That kind of value might seem like a stretch, but collectors are often willing to pay staggering amounts for one-of-a-kind items, and in the world of rare coins, the 2015 penny is proving to be one of the most lucrative finds. Now that you know these pennies could be worth big money, how do you know if you've got one of those special error coins? First, check for minting mistakes. As we mentioned, off-center strikes, double die errors, or die clashes are among the most valuable issues. Here's a quick checklist. Examine the mint mark. Make sure you know whether the penny has a D mint mark from Denver or a P mint mark from Philadelphia. Both are important when determining the rarity. Look for off-center strikes. If the image of Lincoln or the words "In God We Trust" appear to be misaligned or slightly off-center, that's a good indication of an error. Check for double strikes. Look carefully at the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's portrait to see if any of them are doubled. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice, creating a blurry or offset image. Examine the condition. Coins in excellent condition, especially uncirculated examples, are worth far more than those that are heavily worn or scratched. So, will the 2015 penny continue to appreciate in value in the future? Given the current interest in rare coins and the high demand for minting errors, there's a strong chance that the value of certain 2015 pennies could keep climbing. As more collectors enter the market, the scarcity of well-preserved or error-laden coins will only increase their desirability. If you're holding on to a 2015 penny with a notable error or in excellent condition, it might be worth keeping it safe in your collection. With proper preservation and certification, it could very well become one of the most valuable coins in your collection. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the fascinating history and potential value of the 2015 In God We Trust penny. If you enjoyed learning about these remarkable coins, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and valuable coin discoveries. Who knows, maybe your next find will be worth millions. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep those pennies safe.